Hey, what's going on, folks? Amani Channel here with a quick live. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but I'm talking about the art of the video interview. I think I made another video about that recently, but I kind of want to continue on with it, and I'm sort of excited because I just finished up a coaching call with a student of mine, and she's a video podcaster, and I was thinking that video podcasting might be. I don't know how many of you have actually considered adding that to your video library, but it could be a really quick way to accelerate your influence, your growth, your audience. And it's something that I've interviewed guests in the past. I need to start getting back on it. I was supposed to have Ashley, I think she's a member of this group, on recently, and I keep on flaking with her. But ecamm has a new feature that allows you to pull in interviews. So I think I'm going to test it out with her coming up real soon. So Ashley, forgive me for Ashley Shepard, forgive me for being such a flake on the interviews. But anyways, what is a video podcast? Well, how can you use? What are the tools that you need to get started? And how do you record your first video podcast? That's kind of what I'm going to go over here. So a video podcast is essentially, it can be like a video interview that you create content around it. It should be around your niche, right? So whatever your main specialty is, and you invite another guest to talk about something related to your area of expertise or your niche. Now, why is this good for your audience? Well, it's good because it's going to expose them to another perspective, to another idea, another thought leader. And you might think, well, I want to be the authority, right? I'm building my own influence. I'm building my brand. But by having other experts speak to your audience, that actually elevates your own influence within your community, because you accessing other experts, other influencers will put you in the same ballpark as them, basically. So if I were to interview Gary Vee, and I don't know how many of you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. He's a big time entrepreneur, influencer online. So if I were to interview him, that would almost raise me to his status subconsciously, right? Just by having that person on as a guest. So that's why, hold on, my eyes itching a little bit here. So that's why it's so helpful. And as folks tune in, please put hashtag live, put hashtag replay. All right, so that's what a video podcast is basically just an interview with another expert on your niche topic, and you can repurpose that content. So you would put it on YouTube, you could put it on Facebook, you could put it on LinkedIn, depending upon the length. And then you could also take the audio out, strip the audio out of it, and then repurpose it for a regular podcast. So if you have a podcast, you get double bang for your buck. And there's all sorts of ways you can repurpose your video content as well, which I'm probably not going to get into in this call. All right, so that's what a video podcast is. Now, what equipment do you need to get started? Basically, you need a webcam. So let me show you. You need a webcam. So that is my other webcam there. All right, so you need a webcam. Let me get the focus right here. So you need a webcam. You probably ideally want to have a microphone. All right, that's my microphone here. I'm kind of just doing a low budget tour of my studio. All right, you want a microphone. That's the Rode NT USB mic. And you want some lights. All right, so I'm using some lights in my space here. I'm kind of giving you an impromptu. Let me see if I can get this tripod loosened up here without making the shot too jarring. All right, got some lights there. And then you just need a guest. All right, so let me get this back. Sorry, folks, this is super low budget. And then you just need, and you need some software. All right, so what software do you need to create a video podcast? Well, you can use Zoom, and Zoom is super easy because with Zoom, you can, depending upon what kind of account you have with Zoom will stream to YouTube or to Facebook. And I've seen plenty of folks do their interviews in Zoom or Facebook. You can use, in YouTube or Facebook. You can use a StreamYard, which is a desktop solution for conducting interviews. Or you can, if you're a Mac user, I say use ecamm. That's what I use, is ecamm. Ecamm is a great software to use. I used to have a link to ecamm. It's bit.ly/try ecamm is the link if you want to try ecamm if you're on Mac. It is Mac only, unfortunately, or fortunately. There are some other, and the other one is like BeLive is another one you can use. It's a Facebook app that allows you to live stream directly into Facebook. I see a few folks watching. Go ahead and chirp in if you're watching this on the live. Or if you're watching this on the replay, put hashtag replay. All right, so that's really all you need. And then you need to have a subject or or a guest. And I say if you're creating video podcasts, you can either create your podcast around the subject, excuse me, like the title or the theme of the interview. So you can go find a specific guest that can speak to the theme. Like if I want to have a YouTube guest on my videos, I could bring in like Monty Weaver. He could talk about YouTube. All right. Or if I want to talk about like overlays using Keynote, how you create overlays or graphics, I could have Bradley Vincent on if I want to talk about that. But that's all within the video, right? Because all I do is talk about video. So that's all within the lane of video marketing, video presence, etc. All right. So those are some examples of the topics. Or you could have a specific guest if you wanted to have it. And once again, if I wanted to feature, Ashley, anyone who uses video, there are a few folks in this group, Pilar, just about everybody in this group does something video related. So, if I want to have somebody speak up video marketing and affiliate marketing using videos, I could have Pilar speak on that. Or if I wanted to have like Alan Sky, he could speak on basic video marketing for, I think he does like credit repair and for like getting your finances under control, right? How you can use video to promote or market your business. All right. So those are kind of the ideas around it. And then you have those guests come on and then you just have a simple interview. Now there's, in my opinion, like the best video podcast and the best content around interviews. You have an intro, like a standard intro. Then you introduce the topic and the guests, what they're going to speak about. And then you interview them. The interviews can be anywhere from, hey, Kim, how you doing? If using iPhone, Kim, I would use, does your laptop have a webcam? I would say you'd want to use your iPhone. The apps on your iPhone really don't work well for like two-person interviews, like two-way interviews. You can be a guest using your phone, but you can't, the apps don't allow you to initiate the interview. Like you can't use StreamYard and be the host and initiate a live stream with a guest, if that's your question. With no webcam. Now, if you're using an iPhone just for a video, you just use, your iPhone and just, record your video. But for interview, like for a podcast, which would be like a video interview, I would say use your webcam. Like, if you use a Mac, I'm sure it has a webcam, a built-in webcam. You don't need an external webcam necessarily. An external webcam will have a higher quality. It'll be high quality video. But if you use lighting and use if your shot is framed correctly, you should have no problems doing a video interview with your built-in webcam. That's a great question. All right, so I was talking about how do you structure your interviews for your podcast. Yes, it does. I could use Zoom. Yeah, and so ecamm will stream directly to YouTube. I actually did a test last week. So, okay, that's a good question, Diana. So Diana says, I think I can put these comments on the screen too. Let me see if I can do this here. How do I put the comments? I don't know. I'm trying to put the comments. I was trying to put the comments on the screen. Yeah, ecamm, I know what you meant. I know what you meant, Kim. And Diana asks, I'm about to purchase a webcam. All right, so webcams, I guess the industry standard for webcams is made by Logitech, but Logitechs are hard to come by. So if you just go to like Amazon and do a search, there'll be some, I don't want to call them off-brand, but there's some alternative brands that you can invest in. I need to do some research, Diana. I would say just look at the reviews, for each webcam to find out about the quality of the webcam. All right. And Kim, I know you meant ecamm. Let's see. She said I can use Zoom. Yes, you can use Zoom ecamm, or you can use the one that we use, Kim. You can use StreamYard as well, which is free. You can upgrade to a premium account, which allows you to do overlays and intros. And I helped Diana create hers. She uses StreamYard and has a professional account or a upgrade account, and that's you can just have those additional features. But any of those programs work fine for video interviews and for video podcasts. And while like Zoom, you might want to look at Zoom, or I guess you could do it with ecamm as well, because ecamm will create a file right away that you can upload to wherever. If you want to share it to Facebook or whatever, it'll create a separate file as soon as you're done with the recording. Same as Zoom, and Zoom will create an audio file. So it'll break it out in video file, it'll break it out in audio file, so that'll work well for you. All right, so I'm going to finish up by talking about how you should structure your video podcast. So like I said, you should have an intro, then you intro the guest. And with your intro, you have your personal intro. So I say, I'm a mining channel. I help marketers and experts build their brand influence, attract leads and clients with videos, etc. And in this video, this week, I'm interviewing X, Y, and Z and they're going to talk about X, Y, or Z. You want to kind of tease them a little bit. So you want to have something that's interesting, that's intriguing for, what information you're going to share with the audience, something to get them really interested in the topic. And then you introduce the guest. So maybe you have a bio. You might want to do have them send your bio. You might want to get their headshot, etc. Just so what they look like. That's not so much important, but get their bio, read their bio. So you read their intro, or else you could say, this guest is gonna. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? You have them introduce yourself, and then after that, you jump into the interview. And so the interview can last anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, however long your show is structured. And then once your interview's wrapped up, you have your call to action. So if you have a business, of course, or a service, you want to have some sort of maybe you want to book a strategy call, or you want to have them opt in to something to help them learn more about your topic, whatever it is. And then you just wrap up and say your goodbyes. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is testing. It's important to test your platform before you connect your interview to make sure you're familiar with the technology, to make sure the interview works right. I will use Kim as an example, who's watching this right now. So when I had Kim on as a guest, like I think I featured Kim like a few months ago, I did a test using ecamm, and ecamm actually has a new feature which allows you to do very simple interviews. So I know he had some troubles using Skype, but now ecamm has a built-in interview feature which is supposed to work well. I can actually do a test with it coming up here. But the day of the interview, I went to get Kim all logged in using Skype, and she couldn't log into Skype. And it would have caused me to freak out a little bit, except I knew I had a backup plan using StreamYard, which was my backup plan. I had a plan B. So you want to test, and then test some more. And then if your test doesn't work, you might want to have a plan B. You always want to have a plan B, because this was a scheduled interview. Like I created like a event around it, and I had invited my Facebook group and other members on my Facebook community. So that's just something to keep in mind. You want to test because Murphy's Law rules when it comes to video production. And Kim says, LOL. Yes, remember that was a little bit stressful for me. All right. So those are my basic tips for starting a video podcast. I say if you're looking to create video content, if you're a little bit shy, if you're a little bit nervous about you speaking directly to a camera for like 5, 10, 15 minutes or extended time, because for YouTube, you should make your videos around 8 to 10 minutes anyways. An interview is a great thing to do because the guest will provide the content. You just have to sort of moderate it, drive the conversation, ask questions that your audience wants to hear or learn about. And then the rest is, it's up to your guest. All right. So that's what I want to talk to you about. If you have any other questions about, yes, have a plan B. I know, right? Kim. So if you have any other questions for me, I'll stick around for another second or two. But that's basically what I want to talk about. If you start a podcast, video podcasts are a great way. There are plenty of folks on YouTube who have YouTube content that are interview based only. So their whole channel is based around them creating interviews and having guests on and picking the brain, and their audience comes to them because they know that they're going to provide thought-provoking, interesting topics in that niche, whatever your niche is. All right. So, that's what I want to talk about. This is my channel. This is Video Fearless. If you're interested in scheduling a free video strategy call with me, I have some video training too, but use that link, which is Call Fearless, for a free video strategy call. If you want to get some more in-depth information about how to create a video podcast or even interview techniques, like the one student who I'm working with right now, I'm working on her with her interview techniques, with her poise, figuring out how to structure her show, all the above, what her messaging is during her show, helping her with her call to action, all the above. So if any of that is interested to you, awesome. Diana says, I'm ready to do an interview this month yes. And I think I might be conducting the interview with you, Diana. We talked about that. All right. So, Amani channel. Hopefully this was really helpful. Once again, the link is bit.ly/call fearless to schedule a free 30-minute video strategy call with me. And you guys have a great one. I love you. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you're seeing this on YouTube or anywhere on the internet. Share it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.